Hi there everyone, welcome back to Dandelion Delphi Tutorials. We are still busy with arrays and we are going to learn how to search through arrays. So there are two possibilities. The first one is that we would be searching for something that appears more than once in our arrays. So here at the top I have input from the user for what they would like to search for. And we're looking for someone's name, but this name appears more than once, and we would like to display all the names and surnames of those learners whose names are, in this example, Sue. So we are going to use our for loop to loop through our arrays, and we are going to use an if statement to search using the input from the user and comparing it to each name stored in array name. I'm using uppercase here on both sides of the equal sign in my if statement so that my code is not case sensitive. So whether they're spelling Sue starting with a capital or not, or maybe entering it all as capital letters, it would not matter, as I will find any instance where Sue appeared in array name. Once I find the first occurrence of this name in my array, I'm setting bfind to true. So it is important above your loop to set bfind to false. We are assuming that we are not going to find a learner with the name Sue and only make it true once we do find an instance of this occurrence. And then we display inside of this if statement, you'll see it's grouped by begin and end. I'm displaying the name, in this instance it will always be Sue, and then the surname that goes with this person's name. Outside of my loop, I'm adding to test if bfind is false. If bfind is false, it means we didn't find any occurrence of the name that the user entered. And then I can display the user's input for them and add to that this name was not found. I'd like you now to go back to your marks program and go to the menu search above 50. There will be more than one learner with a mark about 50, so therefore we will be using a for loop and loop through our arrays to determine which learners had a mark above 50, and we want to display the name and the mark. So press pause and try it yourself before I show you the memo just now. So here we go. I'm in the search menu and I am firstly initializing bfind to false, assuming no learner has a mark above 50. I'm displaying my headings above my loop, and then I loop through all my marks and I'm testing if the mark is above 50. Read your question carefully. It did not say 50 and above. It said above 50, so there's no equal sign here in your if statement. And then I will display the learner's name and their mark corresponding with their name. And I'm setting bfind to true so that outside of my if statement, I can test if bfind is false and I can display an appropriate message to my user. Now try another one. In the menu start with and see if you can produce the output if MA was entered. Here is the memo for this question and I've set bfind to false. And I got input from the user for characters or just single character that the name starts with. I have to count how many surnames start with these characters, so I'm initializing my counter above my loop. And then I loop through my arrays going from 1 to I count. I have two options here, possibly more, for my if statement. The one is using the input from the user and copying out the surname from position 1 for the length of this user's input. And if those two match, I then display the name of the person, the surname, I set bfind to true, and I count them. Another possibility is to use pos. So you could use the input from the user and see if the position that pos finds the input from the user in array surname is 1. Then it means I have found a surname that starts with the characters entered. Remember, your program you don't want your program to be case sensitive, so therefore I've used uppercase in both of these if statements. Outside of my loop, I am testing if I found any learner whose surname starts with the input, and I'm displaying an appropriate message. And if I have found these learners, I'm displaying the counter that counts how many learners' surnames started with the values entered. Now we're going to find only the first occurrence of a name entered, and we'd like to make the loop stop once we have found this person. So therefore we can't use a for loop, we need to use a while loop, and we need to have conditions in our while loop to make the loop stop once this person was found. We don't have the for loop with a k anymore, so we have to simulate the for loop by initializing it as 0. In my while loop, I'm testing that k is less than I count, because if it hasn't been found, I don't want to continue searching after I count. Inside here, I need to increase my k, so I can start at array name 1. And I'm also adding to my while loop if bfind is not true. So while bfind is false and k is less than a counter, I will continue to search. In my if statement, I'm now testing if this input from the user is the same as the current array in index number k. And if I do find it, I set bfind to true. This will make my loop stop the moment I find the first occurrence of the name entered. Outside of my loop, I'm testing if I have found the learner as the user entered and displaying a message if I have not found it. But if I have found this person, I then display their name, their surname, and their mark. I could also include their grade by just using k, because k will still have the position of where this name was found. This is now your opportunity to practice and go to the menu called Name and Surname and try and complete this question. And here is the solution to the question. Person enters a name and surname separated by a space. I am initializing k. I'm testing that I have not reached the end of my array, and I'm testing if I have found this person. I'm increasing k so that we can start searching for the name in position 1. And I am testing if I combine the name and the surname with a space, if it matches the user's input. Important to remember to add uppercase so your program is not case sensitive. I'm changing bfind to true once I find this person. And at the bottom here, if bfind is true, I'm displaying this person's name, surname, and mark. If I have not found the person, I'm displaying the user's input back to them, and I'm indicating that I have not found this person.